Junior broke your favorite glass cup or your favorite glass plate. So what? Your child broke your favorite glass cup, and the first thing you want to do is to punish him, to flog him, without even bothering whether your child was hurt in the process or not. What is the worth of the glass cup compared to your child's well-being? Or Junior forgot to do his assignment or submit his assignments early. Yes, it's wrong, but so what? He could not recall what you taught him the previous day. So what? Or Junior cannot spell certain words. Junior cannot spell cylinder. But you asked him and he was able to spell similar. So what? What's the big deal? Hi guys, in this video, which is the introduction, I'll be introducing a new series that I've been working on for some time now about healthy parenting, with a vision to creating a platform where parents and soon-to-be parents can learn in mutual harmony and respect in order to raise a generation of children who are balanced psychologically. Coming up. So as a way of introduction, let me share a little of my story. Before I do that, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, this may be the last time you see me. But if you're already subscribed, congratulations, because you're one of the 5% that want to keep growing and learning. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. This video is free of charge, and the only way to support me is by giving me a like and subscribing to my channel so that you don't miss these contents. So growing up as a little boy, I could remember certain instances when I was punished for things I now see as flimsy. Growing up, when I was in primary school, I was scoring the least scores in mathematics. I was so bad in mathematics that each time I'm to learn maths, I always look for a way out. I always look for a way to run. Be it in school, be it at home, I will always look for an excuse. And anytime I don't have an excuse and I have to stay, then I'm always scared. I'm always afraid of what next. Because for every sum or minus you fail, you get punished, you get flogged, you get slapped, you get knocked on the head. And I grew with that fear. So for a long while, learning for me was attached to pain. Learning was attached to punishment. So each time I'm called to learn, I always run away, because I feel that if I engage, I'll be punished if I don't do it right. And I don't think that is the kind of mindset we want to give our children when we try to teach them. I believe now, looking back at my years, yes, I was poor in mathematics in my primary school. But guess what? By the time I finished my secondary, wrote my WAEC, I was teaching mathematics to WAEC students before I gained my admission into college. So what changed? My point is, with time, every child learns. So that your child cannot spell cylinder now, focus on those areas that he is already good at, that he already understands, while you work on those areas he is yet to understand. And that will make more sense for the child. Because guess what? If your child ends up associating learning with you, with punishment, with pain, guess what? Each time he learns with you, he shuts off. Each time that child is called to learn, he shuts off. He avoids such. And that worsens the case. That's not what we want as parents, right? So why not create the environment that welcomes your child to learn? Yes, the child cannot spell cylinder. It's not good, but it can be better. I believe now, after interacting with other children and interacting and seeing my own experience, I believe now that with time, every child learns. Your child in basic 1 cannot recite a 3 times table. Keep teaching him, and in basic 4, 5, 6, he will be able to recite a 12 times table. You don't need to punish much. You don't need to punish for the child to learn. In fact, punishment pushes the child further away from learning than it does towards learning. I can tell you that from my experience, because with every punishment I received in school, it always made me avoid the maths class. It did not bring me closer to the class. It did not make me want to learn my mathematics. No. It only made me run away from maths because I felt I was bad at it. And when your child feels he's bad at something, the next response is run. And that's not what you want your child to do. So what you want from your child is to make him realize that he is good, but needs to be better. Not he is bad, needs to be good. Many parents are teaching their child to understand that he is bad already, but needs to be good. Whereas the ideal way of teaching is supposed to be, you are good already, but you need to get better. You need to improve. You need to go higher. Do you understand? You need to go higher. You need to get better at what you're doing currently. So that's why I ask you, your child cannot recite a 3 times table. He cannot do his homework. So what? What's the big deal? At the end of it all, you will still find out that that same child will still be able to do those things later on in life. Yes, good and fine. There are some children that are not academically inclined. However, the basic education is for every child, right? Good. So for that basic education, your child improves with time. And mind you, in this series, we will also be looking at, there are different learning curves for different children. We'll be looking at learning differences as versus learning disabilities. So this is just an introduction to this series. I want to start a series where I want to explain, I want to create a platform where parents, current parents and will-be parents can come together and interact and exchange ideas, all with a vision to improve parenting, to improve healthy parenting, so that your children grow up psychologically stable. Because if your child grows up in an environment of punish, he or she grows up psychologically unstable, meaning they associate learning, whatever form, with pain. Which means that's where you now see children who find it boring to study, find it boring to read any book. They just avoid reading, they just avoid learning totally, because from their childhood they've been nurtured to believe that learning comes with pain, learning comes with punishment. But whereas there's the other option where you can make learning fun for your child. You can make the learning experience entertaining for your child. I don't mean entertaining like playing music and all those things. I mean entertaining like the child sees the lapses and wants to cover it up. Why? because you made it conducive for him and he understands that he is already good but just needs to be better, as against he is bad and needs to be good. So with this video, I just want to show, to create an impression and make parents realize the things that they may be doing that is affecting their children negatively, even though it's with the right motive, the right intention. It's affecting their children negatively, as opposed to other things they could be doing that would change the narrative. So come closer. When your child misbehaves or breaks your cup or your favorite plate, the first thing you should do as a parent is to find out if that child was hurt, not to start announcing the cost of the plate. Let your child realize that you love the child regardless of what happens. Let your child feel that unconditional love. Unconditional love means the love you have for your child does not depend on what the child does. Whether the child does good or bad, you love that child. That is unconditional love. And that unconditional love is what changes children, is what makes the difference. Many parents are sending the impression that they love their children only when their children do well. So the only time you can buy a gift for your child is when your child comes first in class.
Wow.
So your child ends up with the feeling that if I don't come first, I don't get love. And how bad, how pathetic that would be. Because when that child grows up, he or she would always feel like he has to do something. And that's even what makes marriages fall apart. Because some spouses don't understand why their spouse loves them regardless of what they do. So they intentionally do wrong just to offend the spouse, to see whether they could really be loved unconditionally. And sometimes the marriage does not survive. And other times the marriage does. But these are emotional baggages that should have been lifted from childhood. Make your child realize that he or she is loved with or without his or her actions. And you will find out that that child will go all out just to please you, just to do what you want. Whether your child comes first or comes last, you as a parent need to hug your child. You need to make him or her realize that coming last is not easy. You need to make him or her realize that it's not easy for you to have come last. However, you see that first position is still also better than this one. You will need to make that child realize that even though you came last, you're still my blood. You're still my child. And I know that there's still more inside of you that can come out. You just need to dig in deeper and bring that gem out. And you will see that the next time that child goes for exam, he cannot come last again. Because he realizes that his parents love him not for the first position, but for who he is. He realizes that his parents love him not because he has not broken a glass plate, but because of who he is. When your child realizes that you love him with or without what he does, it makes all the difference, man. It makes all the difference. In part 2 of this video, I'll be explaining learning differences This topic is so broad that I can't finish it in this video. So I'll make another one where I'll be explaining learning differences, and also another one where I'll be explaining the difference between conditional and unconditional love. Parents need to turn back to the point where they love their children unconditionally, regardless of what the child does. It's so important that every parent should do this, because if you love your child, whether the child does well or not, you will find that that child will really do bad. I remember the time when my father, I remember when I did something wrong. I can't really remember what I did that time. And I came back home that day. I think he told me not to go out, and I did. And I came back home. I knew he caught me. I came back home, quiet in my room, and I was just thinking how the beating will be, how I would arrange myself and receive this beating. When I did not hear anything from him, the following day I came out, I was surprised. I said, I didn't want to say it out so that I will not report myself, but I was saying in my mind, he no say I come out. It was much later, I think like a day or two after the incident, that my dad called me and said, I know you went out that day, but I forgive you. I know you will not do it again. And guess what? I never went out again. I never disobeyed him again. Why? Because I saw that he did not punish me, not because he could not punish me, but because he realized that this is not who I am. And that's how parenting should be. It's not every time. Yes, there are times when you will not spare the rod, you will floor. But there are also powerful times when you just keep silent and make the child realize that he's loved or she's loved, regardless of what she has done. That changes everything. That changes everything. It's no gainsaying that love can change even the hardest of hearts. It's true. And more so, unconditional love can do that, no matter how hard that heart is. If you like contents like this, do well to subscribe to my channel. I'll be releasing the part 2, where I'll be explaining unconditional love in a little detail, using some of my experiences and the experiences of children I've interacted with as a doctor, children of families I've interacted with. And I'll see you in my next one. Don't mess things up. As a parent, as a child, don't mess things up.